damn! Get me out of here! Yeah? Why? and welcome to the public electric level demo for Future Fragments. To advance this text, press X.
Hi yourself. Who were you again?
As you can see in the little speaker box there, my name's Vi. In the full game, you'll have known about me for a good 2 levels by this point, since the electric level is the 3rd level in Future Fragments. Don't worry though, I'm not here to annoy you all the time or anything. In fact, prior to this level, I'm barely interacting with you, and you've got no idea what my alliances or motives are. That's not important for now, though. What is important is that I'm here to give you an interactive tutorial of the basics of the game.
Alright, so I want to ask then...
Oh, hold on. If you want to skip this entire tutorial and just go right to the gameplay, you can choose to do so in the upcoming choice box at the bottom of the screen. I suggest you do the tutorial though, even if you played the previous fire level demo, as a lot of things have changed and been added. In the full game, you'll learn this stuff over time naturally. However, as we're 3 levels into the game, we need to get you up to speed and fast. So, do you wanna skip this? Great! I'm glad you're deciding to stick around. This won't take long, I promise.
Okay, then what's up with the blue text?
Anytime you see blue text like this, it means it's something very important. This usually is used for gameplay hints or plot points to watch out for, but it could be used for other things too. It's also great for skimming through the text.
Sounds good. Now, how do I move? I've been stuck standing here for what feels like forever.
Oh, that's easy. You just use the arrow keys for movement. And to jump, it's the Z key. Holding the down key lets you crouch, which scrolls the camera down below you as well. And if you press jump while crouching, you can drop through floating platforms. If you'd like to remap the controls, you can press the escape key on your keyboard and use the arrow keys to navigate to the gear icon on the far right. Once you're there, you can press the Z key to select it, and then move over to the control selection. You can plug in a controller too if you want to use that. You can also adjust the audio and graphics in these menus, if either one of those isn't to your liking.
And how do I attack? I can't attack, right?
Of course! Just jump up to that second block there and we'll talk about that more.
Okay, I passed your big test and made it up here. Now what?
See that guy down there? We call them grunts. They're the shock troops of the World Organization for the Regulation of the Masses. The sworn enemies of the rebels, which you and I are a part of.
No, I'm affiliated with my kingdom back in the year 1000. All this stuff in the year 3000 has nothing to do with me. I just want to get the fragments that my king ordered me to and get back home to save my kingdom.
Sure. Whatever you say. Anyways, back to how to fight enemies. You have 3 main attacks. First, there's your regular shot. You can use that by pressing X. Here, I'll take control of your body for a second to show you what it looks like.
Not really enjoying being taken control of like that.
Oh, relax, silly. Getting back to it, you can fire off as many shots as you want by hitting X rapidly. If you're moving, you'll fire slower than if you're standing still, though. So Next, there's the charge attack. You can perform that by holding down the X button until the charging animation shows. Then, depending on how long you hold it down, one of 2 attacks comes out. If you hold it for a short period of time, you'll fire off an attack that hits all enemies in its path, but does weak damage. If you hold it for at least 3 seconds though, you'll get an elementally based attack, based on the element you've got selected in the upper left on your GUI. In this demo, you've got two available, fire and ice. You get elemental abilities from bosses, but that's irrelevant to this demo. You can change abilities at any time by using the A or S keys. Finally, your charge shot uses no mana, which I'll get into later. And
Nope, I'm not having any of that body control stuff again. Plus, I've been sitting here for what feels like forever, so I'm gonna test this out myself, thanks.
Fine, go try and kill that grunt then. You can't drop to 0 HP in this room, so don't worry about that.
Great!
Hold on! I forgot one more important thing about enemies. If you take too much damage in a short period of time, you'll enter a stunned state. You can mash on your attack button to get out of the stun state. But if an enemy touches you during this time, well, he's going to be pretty happy, and you're not. Unless you're enjoying yourself, of course. If you're on normal mode, you can break out of the animation by mashing attack, just like while in your stun state. If they bring you to Doodle, though, you'll take even more damage due to exhaustion. If you're on easy mode, you'll take no damage, and you can end the animation when you want. That's all! Now go take that grunt out.
Finally.
Okay, now that you've done that, do you see that floating object in front of you?
Yeah, that cup of milk.
Yep, power-ups like this are all around the worm facility you're in. What's so funny?
Wait, you're serious?
Yes, I am! Power-ups like this protein drink and others are extremely important, and you should always be on the lookout for them.
Alright then, so how do I use them?
Glad to see you're taking me seriously. To pick up a power-up, you just stand on top of it and press the up button. Then, you'll be able to pick if you want to send it to storage by pressing X, or if you want to equip it instantly by pressing Z. You can see what the power-up does, too, by reading the text in the middle of the screen once it's been picked up. You can hold up to 3 power-ups at a time, and their effects stack.
Storage? What's that?
See this thing? That's called a save pad. Come walk over to it and I'll tell you more about what it does and what storage is.
So I'm over here, now what?
What you're looking at here is a save pad. Jumping on one saves a complete copy of your body and mind to that particular save pad. The World Organization members use these quite often. They're a part of everyday life, and because of them, almost no one under their banner fears death anymore.
Hold up. First, to make sure I'm understanding this, you're telling me this thing can just flawlessly recreate someone after death with no issues every time?
Well, you'll notice I said almost. Save pads can still malfunction. They can be hacked into and data tampered with, along with a host of other problems, but this kind of stuff almost never happens. There's also one more caveat. Any memories that a person's formed after saving at a save pad won't be reconstituted when they're respawned on it after death. For some reason, though, you, Talia, seem to be able to retain your memories after respawning. I'm still investigating why that is, so I'll get back to you if I find anything out.
Okay, that's not weird at all. So how do I use it then?
You just jump onto the save pad and it'll save a copy of you to it. There's also one extra usage of it that you, and you alone, seem to have. Remember those power-ups I was talking about? And the whole storage thing?
Oh yeah, I forgot entirely about that. So, what's storage then?
If you grab power-ups while out exploring the gratification factory and then manage to bring them back to the save pad without dying, you'll be able to save them into the memory of this save pad as well. To access your storage, you just need to stand on a save pad and press escape, and the power-up storage menu will automatically open. From there, you can mix and match any previous power-ups you've saved to your storage. Go on over to the save pad and try it out now, or just feel free to keep going forward to the next section of the tutorial. Don't worry, we're almost done with this. Just 2 more sections left in the main tutorial and we'll be all done.
So, there's a power-up over there, but I don't quite think I can reach it. Got any advice on how I can make that jump, Vi?
I do! You've got one more notable ability. Every time you defeat a boss, you gain a utility ability from that boss also. Since this is the 3rd level, you've got 2 abilities currently. You can switch between them by pressing A and S, just like the powered-up charge shot from before. For now, we'll be focusing on the fire dash. You can use it in mid-air or on the ground for a quick speed boost, and you're invincible while doing it! It uses up 1 bar of your mana though, which you can see in the upper left. Utility abilities have different amounts of mana they use, but your mana recharges at the same rate no matter what. And... Talia, why do you look so angry?
Are you ever going to tell me how to actually use this utility stuff?
I'm really sorry. To use a utility ability, just press the C key.
Alright, thanks, Vi.
Anytime, sugar. And now I'll explain the second utility ability at your disposal, the time freeze shot. When you use this utility ability, you'll shoot a small projectile out. If it hits an enemy, it'll freeze them in time and space, literally. While they're frozen, you'll be able to use them as a platform to jump on and reach other areas, or to avoid enemy attacks, or simply to temporarily disable them. You can even freeze projectiles, too! Be careful, though. The freezing effect doesn't last forever, and it doesn't damage enemies either.
So you probably want me to use it to get up to that ledge and get that power-up then.
You got it! See, you're getting the hang of this already! Work, Talia. Just walk through the corridor to your right to continue on with the tutorial. So here we are, the last room of the tutorial. You've got two options from here. You can jump over this gap and continue on to your right, where I'll inform you of your core objective for this level and demo. Or you can drop down in that pit in front of you, where you'll find out about some more gameplay mechanics and objectives. You'll even get to see me in person down there too! Either way, I did have one more suggestion for you. While I know a lot of people mute games of this, nature, we hope you'll leave the audio on, as a lot of work went into the voice acting, music, and sound effects for this game. And if you just want to hear the music or just the voices, you can set that up in the audio menu by pressing escape at any time. The choice is yours on where to go from here, though. Regardless, I'll see you over at the milk fusion chamber.
So, do I want to explore down below a bit, get some more info, or do I want to just get going and figure out that stuff later? Also, milk fusion? Really? So these things are databanks, right?
Yup, there's two types. You can read more about what the differences are between them by going up to them and pressing the up key. For a quick brief though, databanks are normal computer terminals connected to a wealth of information within the worm. However, thanks to Seber's attack a few months ago, the entire network was damaged, locking the computer to whatever the current entry was at the time. Silver databanks contain general information about the worm and the world around you, but gold databanks, those contain information about Seber, and given that my hubby was public enemy number 1, they've quarantined them off so that no one can learn about him and possibly get influenced by his actions.
So naturally, there's gonna be cool stuff in the gold databanks that I'd want to read about. Wait, did you call Seber hubby? Like, your husband?
Yep. Is there a problem with that?
No, I'm just, surprised. Anyways, gonna check these out then. Whoa! Vi! Is that you? Like, in person?
Yup, it's me in the flesh. Given how much the worm wants to arrest me, though, for my ties to Seber and the rebels, I can't just show up like this willy-nilly. Most of the time, I'll be assisting you from afar with the holographic transmissions that I'm sure you've gotten used to by now. If I can manage to block out their senses in an area, though, I'll come see you in person.
You know you sound like one of those perverted worm jerks when you talk like that, right?
Oh, you wound me. I've got two things to bring up to you, though, while you're here. Remember that little plaque up here? These will be at the entrances and exits of each map, and the letters and numbers on them are for the map you're about to go into. So, for example, the map back there is Tutorial Map 1. The maps out there, though, usually go by something like, say, P4M2, which would mean Path 4 Map 2, for instance.
Given what I've seen in the two previous areas, I can see how even people who worked here every day would need that kind of stuff to find their way around.
There's one other thing, too. When you get out of this conversation with me, look at the upper right of your screen. There's a mini-map up there. It gets filled out once you've been in a room once, and it'll stay that way even if you have to respawn. For even more info, you can press Escape to open the Mega Map, which shows everywhere you've discovered so far. You can also see how many fragments and databanks you've found, as well as paths that you've hacked.
Wow, that's actually pretty helpful. I've still got one more question though. How the heck do I get out of this pit?
Oh, just go over there to your right, and I'll explain the core mechanic of this gratification factory. Gravity reversal.
Gravity reversal. Okay then.
Yep, see you in a second. I'm glad you came down here, because now I get to explain to you the main mechanic of the gratification factory. Each portion of the worm facility you're in has a few unique mechanics, all centered around a core mechanic. The lava caverns had air vents, the Sillard's medical base had a destructible environment, and the gratification factory... Well, do you see that switch over there? If you go over to it and press up, or if you shoot it with one of your projectiles, it'll reverse gravity not only for you, but for all of your enemies and even some projectiles too. Go try it out! There we go! What's it like being upside down?
It's kind of disorienting, but I think I'm getting used to it. There's just one problem. I can't reach the switch anymore, so how am I going to get back down on the ground once I get back up there?
Oh, that's easy. See this switch up here? Just jump over the wall to your left, go up there and hit it, and you'll be back down easy as pie.
Kind of embarrassing that I didn't notice that earlier, but that seems easy enough. Okay, what's this huge thing?
This is a milk fusion chamber, and helping me shut these down is your first objective in the gratification factory. They're fueled by the siphoned milk from the masses of female rebels they've captured from raids, as well as disobedient female worm members.
I don't think I've ever actually seen you angry like this. Wow. So what are these, milk chambers even used for then?
They're used to power a lot of different things here, unfortunately. What we'll be targeting, though, are the specific ones that are powering the firewall for the mainframe computer, since destroying it is your second and main objective. The mainframe computer controls not only the gratification factory, but large portions of this entire facility. You already crippled the lava caverns and the Sillard's medical base, so taking out that computer will deal the finishing blow to the whole facility.
And why do you think I'll do this for you?
Well, I've got intel on where you can get 2 more fragments in the untamed forest past this facility, the uncharted wildwoods. And you can't get there without destroying the mainframe computer, as it's manifesting a force field separating this facility from the wildwoods.
Okay, but how do you figure I'm even going to be able to put a dent in it? This is year 3000 technology. What's my magic going to do against it?
Well, for whatever reason, your magic was able to defeat the technology of the Sillard's Emperor that was centuries beyond what even the worm's finest are capable of, right? That means it must be able to destroy the mainframe computer.
Well, I do need those fragments, so I guess giving it a shot is worth it, especially if it sticks a thorn in the side of these worm jerks. So, how do I help you disable the firewall that these milk chambers are fueling then?
Simple. There are 6 of them in this gratification factory. 1 is at the end of each path you can take. When you reach one of these, clear out the room of enemies so it's safe for me to teleport there. Then just walk over to the milk fusion chamber, I'll teleport in, quickly hack and disable the device, and we'll teleport back out to the safety of the hub.
What's the hub?
It's an area we've secured within the factory, safe from worm eyes, with a convenient back door into the mainframe once we've disabled the firewall. And it's just up ahead. Speaking of that back door, once you've helped me disable all 6 milk fusion chambers, I'll be able to port you through that back door into the mainframe computer itself to take it down. Any questions?
Yeah, I've got a question. What was that prompt I just got?
That prompt was giving you a choice during a cutscene. In fact, this isn't the first time I've shown you a prompt like that. I gave you one at the very beginning of the tutorial too. But that's fine that you're asking about it, because now I get to let you know that quite a few cutscenes will present you with multiple choices, and these choices not only impact the current cutscene you're in, but some future cutscenes too. In fact, some databanks, once read, will actually affect some cutscenes too. The order in which you encounter cutscenes affects things too, and in some cases, enemies being alive or dead can change up cutscenes as well.
So, do I get anything then for making the right choices?
There's no right or wrong choices, but in the full game, every choice you make will add or subtract from one of 7 personality values. Come end game, whichever you have the most points in, that's what ending you'll get, along with one other modifier that I'll leave a secret for now. And that's it! Good job in making it through the tutorial. Feel free to run through that corridor to the right and start the game.
Alright, that all makes sense. So, did you tell Faye about any of this?
Now why would I tell my favorite girl's rival about any of this?
I might just grow to like you yet, Vi. We've spent enough time talking though, so I'm off. But thanks again for showing me all this, Vi.
Oh, anytime, honey. I'll see you soon then.
Maybe I spoke too soon.
This is Darren's 6th month in retirement. As one of the few people to see the decline of $29.99 firsthand and survive, he has been and continues to be a valuable source of information to the World Organization on how to combat a threat like that ever happening again, even in retirement. Many people have showered him with praise for his hard work and sacrifice, myself included, but he continues to focus on the negatives. He still has systematically reoccurring dreams, with each day of the month representing one of his co-workers or fellow soldiers who he lost that day. Despite not actually seeing the majority of them erased, he has constructed vivid fabrications in his head of how each one of them were erased. Sometimes these delusions involve his comrade jumping in front of him to prevent Darren's erasure. Other times it involves them vanishing in his arms. And rarely it involves him not being able to reach the victim in time to prevent or warn them of their fate. The months of providing information to the World Organization have helped his guilt, as well as the few people he helped get out alive alongside him. But his desire for revenge, the collective desire for revenge amongst the survivors in general, can never be quenched. And it is that ever-increasing madness that accompanies that hunger for retribution that I fear will break him and the other survivors someday. My verdict on Darren's personal case is that he be allowed 2 supplements a day of the best sedatives applicable to his grade, and that he should be allowed 4 days a month in the holorec. He has made actual progress during these months, and I think what's needed now is to give himself therapeutic release through an outlet for his anger. And being able to relive and change the events of that day, even in a holographic recreation, should be good for him. I realize this is a privilege only given to our highest officials, let alone asking our technicians to allow access to a recreation of the decline. But given what Darren's been through, and what he's done for the World Organization, I don't think that's an impossible thing to ask. This is pretty dark. So the decline of $29.99 must have cost the worm a lot of soldiers. But I thought they could just respawn at the save pads. Wouldn't it just be an everyday thing to come back to life after being killed? This Darren guy seemed really traumatized, though. Wait. Is there some way you could possibly not respawn after dying? I'll have to look out for that then. Better pay attention to anything else mentioning this decline thing to find out more.
Hey, hold on. Before you keep going, Squirt. I found one of the fragments. Now, I've been thinking about how bad our, work relationship is, and as a sign of good faith, I'm happy to give you the fragment I found.
Nah, there's a catch somewhere in here. I know you well enough by now. What's in it for you?
Honestly, I just want to go home. This place gets more disturbing every minute I'm here. That, and I'm pretty sick of dealing with all the perverts here. You've got more pieces than I do, so I figure the fastest way out of here is if one of us gets them all, ASAP. All I ask is that you at least tell the king that I helped, that I wasn't useless. You'll do that for me, right?
You really think I'm that dumb? Come on. If you actually had a fragment, I know you wouldn't give it up for anything.
Huh, I'm impressed. Maybe you've actually grown a little since you got here, Squirt. I'm still gonna get all the fragments before you, though, so don't think otherwise.
We'll see.
Hey, you keep it up and you might actually make this an entertaining race. For now, though, get out of my way.
I tracked the fugitive to a hideout deep within the Wildwoods. They had been stationed there with a few other bounties. But seeing as I was hired for only this one, I let them scamper off to some other hole in the ground. This particular woman was wanted for not only defecting from the worm, she was also the prime culprit in that recent hack job of the mainframe computer. Took out power to half the facility in one shot and kept it out for a few days. When I caught up with her, she didn't put up much of a fight. She didn't seem defeated, though. Grinning triumphantly the whole way back to the holding cell, she claimed that what she did was just a test, and the true attack was coming soon. I didn't put much thought into it, really. I asked her out of curiosity why exactly she basically signed up for a lifetime of testing and being milked just to mildly hinder the worm. She looked at me with fire in her eyes and told me that it was all for Saber's plan. That's all talk, more than likely, but the way she said it, man, I've seen some shit, but that stopped me in my tracks for a moment. To be honest though, I'm a bounty hunter. I don't really have time to care about whether or not the worm gets hit with a 532nd terrorist attack this month, so long as they keep paying me. So I didn't report what she said to anyone, because I just chalked it up to some showboating by a defeated woman trying to get the last laugh. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
I still find it interesting how they call the rebels terrorists. How can no one in this society see how corrupt they are compared to the rebels? Then again, there's still a lot I don't know about the rebel faction. They might not be all that honorable either. Poor Arazia, though. Milked for the rest of her life. That can't be pleasant. Or, maybe it is? Knowing the worm, they've probably got some elaborate setup for it. I should ask Vi about the mainframe hacking, though. Maybe that can help us access it easier if it's still got a weakness? Oh, hey, Vi. Is something wrong?
Nothing major. I just wanted to inform you about this irregular enemy up ahead. The security bots got magnetic treadmills. You can toggle those by shooting it. Red lights mean it's locked to the surface it's on, regardless of gravity, while white lights mean it will actually obey gravity. The main problem, though, is that it's indestructible to just about everything. Except the gravity columns up there!
And why should I care about killing it then if it's such a pain in the ass to deal with it?
So demanding. How saucy! I like that passion you've got.
This is getting really weird now.
Stop being so mean. We both know how you really feel. There's nothing wrong with us loving one another, is there? Okay, I see you're not in the mood to be playful. That's fine. The reason you need to deal with it is because you can't get through the security door to the right unless you destroy the key to it.
The security bot.
Yup.
Okay, I think that's about enough info. I'll figure it out from here.
But wait, you also need to know...
Vi, let me try this out myself, alright? I know you mean well, but I learn a lot better through experience.
Fine, fine. Good luck, sweetie, and goodbye for now.
Alright, thanks again, Vi.
Anytime, Tolly.
had to blow half my income on an Omni-Self to deal with the heat in there. But after digging around in some of the caverns, I found him. Gotta say, none of my usual tracking methods worked on this guy. It was kinda weird. Maybe it's just the heat making my stuff go wonky. This guy, though, like the last bounty, was pretty passive. Again, not something I'm used to dealing with. Is this some sort of new tactic by the rebels? Is there some secret meaning to the lack of resistance? Even odder, I found out that last bounty I brought in, Arazia, is actually his wife. Ugh. I mean, sure, I get it, you want to have someone to come home to. Why not just buy a gratter? It costs less money and time than dealing with a person, and when you're bored with them, you can just trash them. But I guess they're so poor out there in their encampments that they can't afford it, but there's nothing I can do about that, nor do I want to. What I did do, though, was bring this guy in and collected quite the payday for it. He'd been stealing from the lava caches to feed some of the sellouts that have been aiding the rebels in secret. If all goes well, I might actually lead the worm to those guys too. Maybe pick up a little bonus for that also. Gotta admit though, with how passive these fugitives are being, and the looks they're giving me, I almost feel bad about bringing them in. There's definitely worse people way up high in the worm, but the difference is that one party signs my paycheck, and the other party is how I earn that paycheck. Anyone ever makes enough money to hire me in the rebel camps though? Well, I'd be more than happy to take that job for something completely different for once.
So this bounty hunter guy's been pretty busy. How many rebels has he put away? Doesn't he feel any remorse? I hate those types that are only out for themselves, as long as they get paid. Disgusting.
Hopefully, Fari and Arazia can escape somehow, but I know that's almost impossible.
To all parties who are listening, unfortunately, it seems that communications with Agents Arazia and Fari has finally ceased. I remember enlisting them. Both of them worm defectors, both married in secret even while within the worm. Hearing about them really motivated all of us, and myself as well, of course, so when they activated their stomach beacons to let us know they were taken last year, I was crestfallen. Luckily, because of their existing worm credentials, they were able to test multiple technologies for us. All of them constructed from materials we've stolen from worm facilities so as to blend in with their existing tech. Arazia was given a device that successfully shut down worm power for a few days, allowing us to sneak critical troops past the defenses. Our leader, Sieber, of course, was successful in initiating the final stage of his plan, thanks to this brave woman. Fari, on the other hand, was tasked with trying out a cloaking device that used the wavelength of worm sensors to completely hide his presence from technology in plain sight. But we discovered it only works as long as there's no actual entities. We fear they may have upgraded or reconfigured their sensors to deal with this device, however, so we'll continue field test of it for now. Despite this courageous couple being taken prisoner, we still have many other agents in the field testing out new tech, so chin up. I'm sure you all remember the Dark Moon heir? He's working with an engineer of ours on the inside named Van to steal a few Darmstadt bytes of data every day from the Worm's mainframe and Dyson frame computers. With any luck, we should have some solid data kept safe in the archives once Sieber starts up his fragmenting. I mean, if anything should keep you all in good spirits, just think about what's to come in a few months. All we've sacrificed until now will be worth it. Nothing will be in vain. To all of you listening to this weekly update, and for continuing your fight against the worm, I salute you.
If this is an intercepted message, doesn't that mean the worm found out about all the things Kaz was talking about? That's probably pretty bad. There was something about Sieber and fragmenting too. Was the big thing he pulled off related to whatever that is? I know he did some attack on this facility, but did he succeed with the fragmenting? Crazy that Arazia had some sort of stomach beacon too. I wonder if all rebel members have that. And poor Fari. I can't imagine what he went through, hiding from that bounty hunter for so long in such awful conditions.
Great job making it to the first chamber and clearing out all the worm troops, Talia.
Give me just a second here to drain the chamber. And done! Now just stand still and I'll teleport us back to the hub room. Before you continue on to get the other 5 milk chambers, there's something I want to show you over to the right of this hub room. Run over there and I'll be there in a second. Do you see this doorway here? This is the back door to the mainframe computer I was talking about earlier. Since we've disabled one milk chamber, there's one light that's lit up on the door. If we disable all 6 milk chambers, all 6 lights will be lit up, signaling that the mainframe computer won't have any resistance left that it could offer against our back door into it. That means that I'll be able to immediately send you into its deepest systems, where you can strike a fatal blow to it. So, any questions?
Nope, you explained it pretty well. Disable all 6 milk chambers, get access to the inner workings of the mainframe computer, blow it up. Pretty straightforward. And you said there's a fragment in the forest beyond this factory, right?
2, in fact. But you'll need to destroy the mainframe computer to get there, as it's erected a force field around this entire facility to prevent worm members from getting themselves killed by accidentally straying into the wildwoods.
So, it's an area that's harsh enough that even the worm wants to protect itself from it. Great. Really looking forward to that. I'd better get back to the mission, though.
Yep, you've still got 5 paths left. I'll be waiting at the end of whatever one you decide to take on next. Good luck, cutie!